hello, my amigos. Welcome, one. Welcome, all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. And, folks, it is time for liftoff. So hold on to your hats.
T-minus
10,
10,
9,
9,
8,
7,
7,
6,
6,
5,
5, 4.
3,
Come on, you know it,
2,
guys.
1,
You know the rest.
0. Ignition.
Come on.
Liftoff.
Come on.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Let's get this off the ground. Una forma de decir ponerlo en marcha. Ya estamos con expresiones.
Get ready. Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name. Let's go.
Come on in, amigos. Come on in. Oh, yeah. Man, we are pushing through the week. Oh, man. It's almost Friday. Almost. Oh, man. Some weeks feel never-ending. Interminables. Never-ending. You know that one from a movie title. The Never-Ending Story. Welcome, welcome one, welcome all. Time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name, and it's a pleasure to have you all with us on board, learning every single day, and not just learning, but you guys are inspiring each other. I see it. You are inspirational to each other, and that is magical, folks. A nice round of applause for all of you, because I have a feeling, I have a hunch, tengo una corazonada. I have a feeling, I have a hunch that you guys are going to kick butt today. I could be wrong, but if I judge it by yesterday's show and the one before that and last week and last month, I only see one thing, and that is forward movement. That is progress. A lot of you are making progress, or you're progressing. Remember, it's a verb too, but it's more common for some reason to say to make progress. And I know each and every one of you are making progress. I see it. I see it in your spelling bees. I see it in all the different sections, even in Name That Movie. You know, even if you don't get Name That Movie, if you're not Chris Valrol, our movie queen, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that you get the English content. The reason I make them all challenges is because who doesn't like a little game, a little challenge? I know it's a way to make my time in the classroom a lot more fun. And remember, guys, here on Vaughn Radio, you've got a million different, not a million, maybe about 12 different teachers with all different accents, all different perspectives. But there's one thing we all have in common, and that is that passion. We love what we do. We believe in what we do here on Vaughn Radio and over at Vaughn. And by the way, if you guys are looking for some materials, you can go by our Vaughn Tienda. Again, thank you guys for making my book. This book is The Milk 2, the reissue. Thanks for making it a huge success. Wow, because this book is The Milk was a success. This book was the remilk. Okay, it's kind of hard to duplicate that success. But when we reissued This Book is the Milk 2, it seems like you guys were excited about that bonus audio. And we even put together a little jingle because, as you guys know, Damian Moya, a.k.a. Barrancas, and we love to play. And we were just talking about challenges and games. That's the way This Book is the Milk and This Book is the Milk 2 started. It was us challenging each other or sharing these fun facts, curiosidades, about English or Spanish, about language in general. And then before we realized it, we said, wait, I think we might even have a book. Who knows? We might have two. And now we have two books. I have two with him and then two that I've done aside from him. I've done English Everywhere, my first book, and English on the Go, Aprende Inglés, Viajando por el Mundo. Those are my books. But the two in the middle I've done with him. And who knows? maybe there's a third one on the horizon. So if you don't have the first book, This Book is the Milk, or This Book is the Milk too, what are you waiting for? You might be able to get a third one down the road, but I can't confirm or deny that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from the funeral.
Señoras y señores, nos dirigimos a ustedes desde el funeral real.
What a sad day it is, for this book is the remilk.
Es un día triste para This Book is the Remilk.
It is a book that was loved by many and will be missed by all.
Es un libro que fue adorado por muchos y será extrañado por aún más.
But don't fret, no, don't worry,
Pero no se preocupen,
because the remilk will be reborn
porque This Book is the Remilk volverá a nacer
with a new name, a new cover, and brand new audio.
con un nuevo nombre, una nueva portada y ahora con audio.
It's called This Book is the Milk 2.
Se llama This Book is the Milk 2
And it will usher in a new age.
y nos adentrará en una nueva era.
All hail! This Book is the Milk 2, the new leader.
¡Viva This Book is the Milk 2, el nuevo rey!
Long live! This Book is the Milk 2.
¡Larga vida al nuevo rey! This Book is the Milk 2.
That's right, folks. This Book is the Milk 2, available with This Book is the Milk. They're books that show you that English can be fun, funny, entertaining, can even bring up, my cousin, for example, my cousin Fran in Almeria. He has been an English teacher for many, many years, and he's a sharp guy. He's listo, espabilado. But I blew his freaking mind. That's right. I blew his mind. Le reventé la cabeza when I told him that Popeye, you say Popeye, Popeye means ojo resaltón. He literally fell out of his chair when I told him that. And it's a way you'll never, ever forget certain words. We use onomatopoeia, we use humor, obviously, music, movies, similar to what we do here on the Show with No Name. In fact, that's how Damian and I met. He was a Show with No Name follower, a fan. He still is. He told me, the other day on the show, you said an express. So he still, even though he doesn't participate live, he's here. And I'd like to send a shout out to all of you who can't be here live every day, but you're putting in the time and the effort. Well, sometimes it's thankless. Thankless. ¿Cómo se dice thankless? Sometimes it can be thankless. Desagradecido, ingrato. It's not rewarding because I'm not saying your name. But if you're participating, I am saying your name. The only thing is, Born to Iron Man, Chris Valrol, those are the ones who are representing you. Laura, I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'll stop there. But those are the students that are representing you, but you're still here participating with them, even if you can't in real time. So you should have, everybody here should have a Show with No Name notebook, and you should also have a pen. I even have a Vaughn pen over here. So what was I getting at? Stop by Vaughn Tienda if what you're looking for is some resources and some self-study. If what you're looking for is courses or just to find out some more information about what we do, where we're located, you can go over to our website. It's grupovaughn.com. And the phone number is 911-385831. Believe it or not, we still get people who call. Some people want to talk to somebody, and I think that is awesome. So again, 911-385831. Our website is grupovaughn.com. Our online bookshop is vaughntienda.com. Or you can also, you can follow us on social media where we're constantly posting content. And I say we because I mean Grupo Vaughn. I mean the people I work with, my buddies here at Vaughn Radio, and obviously me. I'm posting at least one video a day. On Twitter, I constantly post challenges, multiple choice challenges. And speaking of challenges, I think it's time for today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. That's right, amigos. It is our pop quiz. Only on the show with no name, only on Vaughn Radio. And folks, in our pop quiz, we take a look at a post, usually from Vaughn, Grupo Vaughn, from myself, or one of my buds here at Vaughn Radio. Well, today we're taking a look at a post from Grupo Vaughn. And this is one of those posts that is chock full of content. So let's take a look at it. I want a little beat because you guys know me. I like a little beat as we get warmed up. Mientras vamos calentando motores, while we rev our engines, to rev our engines. By the way, a lot of times you guys will see me look down. You know what I'm doing? I'm jotting down. Toma, dos phrasal verbs. Miro hacia abajo. I look down and I jot down an expression or something that we looked at, maybe a homophone. Yeah, why not? Later, you'll see it and review it on social media. But today we're not looking at something from my social media. Nope. We're taking a look at something from Vaughn's social media. And today we're going to look at the imperative of the negative. What does that mean? Real simple. Sometimes I tell you guys, don't get caught up. No te pierdas en cómo se llama algo. Okay, it's good to know it, to categorize things, right? But this is as simple as thinking of, okay, well, el imperativo en negativa, pues vamos a mirarlo en positivo. Usually it's simpler because there's no auxiliary verb, right? I have, I don't have. Acabo de enseñártelo en presente, but we're not talking about present. We're talking about the imperative. And what is the imperative? Well, the imperative is a command. Stand up. Sit down. Sit up. Do you know that one? I'm mixing some stuff there. Sit up is incorporarse, right? Stand down. Estoy mezclando todas ahora. Stand down es, esto viene de la mili. So if you're seeing, I'm not using a subject. Stand down, renuncia, abandona el estrado. Stand down, officer. Stand up for yourself. Defiéndete a ti mismo. Sit down, siéntate. Sit up, incorpórate. Some good phrasal verbs. Don't just sit around. To sit around es hacer nada. Ser vago. No es sentarse en diferentes sitios. Puede ser. If you think about it, you move from the sofa to the love seat. The love seat es la que tiene dos cojines. Caben dos personas. The love seat. All right, so the imperative is simple. We're just using the present, but we are omitting the subject. We're leaving it out. Omitiendo, dejándolo fuera, as we say. So let's look at some examples. Stand up. Como te digo al inverso, no te pongas de pie. Don't stand up. Sí, seguimos omitiendo ese you, ese sujeto. So we don't say you don't stand up, porque eso significa tú no te sueles poner de pie. You don't stand up. It's weird that you stood up. So that's why that we omit it. It's a command. You start with the verb. In the case of the negative, we start with don't. So, stand up. Don't stand up. Run. Corre. Don't run. Okay. What about this one? You guys give me this one. No me grites, por favor. No me grites, por favor. We know there's no subject. It starts with don't. Don't shout at me. Don't yell at me. Don't scream at me. Interesting. Don't scold me. That's a word we learned from Laura, I believe. She taught us that one. But fijaos, el scold no lleva ninguna preposición. So don't shout at me. Don't yell at me. Don't scream at me. Don't scold me. Don't chew me out. ¿Quieres más formas de decir no me grites, no me eches una bronca? Don't chew me out. No me des tus llaves. Don't give me your keys. No le escuches. Don't listen to him. No digas eso, por favor. Don't say that, please. No me llames tan tarde. Don't call me so late. I hope you guys are participating, doing it along with me. No trabajes tan duro. Don't work so hard. No te vayas, por favor. Don't leave, please. Or you could say, please don't go. Please don't go. I want you to know that I miss your love. No sueltes eso. Ooh, how would you say that one? That's a difficult one. Don't release that? Yeah, but I'm saying like, no lo sueltes, no lo tires. Don't drop that. Don't drop that. Okay. But as you guys know, I like to up the ante. Oh, yeah. You know my style. I like to put a little bit more in play. I like to raise the stakes. To raise the stakes. Poner más en juego. Subir el listón. So we just looked at the imperative and the negative of the imperative. And what about the infinitive? And the negative of the infinitive? All right, well, we're going to do a little exercise here. So the infinitive is pretty easy. Okay, I told him to run. Le dije que corriera. To, el infinitive is to. I told him to run. Fijaos que me he comido la H. Eso es como lo haríamos. I told him, repítelo conmigo, por favor. I told him to run. Okay, ahora quiero que me digáis, le dije que no corriera. Okay? So, I told him, yo te lo voy a decir, lo que yo le dije, y tú me vas a decir, tú le dijiste que no corriera. The first one's always tough, but it'll get easier. Don't run, I said to him. What did I tell him? Le dijiste que no corriera. You can write it down. More importantly, say it aloud. I told him not to run. Did you say to not run? Pues siempre piensa en Shakespeare. To be or not to be? That's the question. So, el orden es not to. To be es el infinitivo, and not to be is Shakespeare. Real easy. To be, in fact, I'm writing this down. This is always a good lesson because a lot of people know that, but then they get confused with the negative of the infinitive. So did you say, Alberto, you told him not to run? Notice you told him don't run. It's you told him not to run. Porque si es infinitivo, pues el negativo es el not to. Let's try another one. This only gets easier, folks. I told him, no, I said to him, para decirlo, para que lo oís bien también. I said to him, don't shout at me, please. Le dije, I said to him, don't shout at me, please. What did I tell him? We really upped the ante in this exercise. You thought it was going to be easy, but it's gotten a lot tougher. Woo-hoo. You told him, le dijiste, if you're talking to me, you told him not to shout at you. Le dijiste que no te gritara. Are you guys getting the hang of it? All right, I see a lot of people here in our chat room. Let's get a nice round of applause for all our students participating. Whether you're in the chat room live or you're just participating along with us on the podcast. Here's the next one. I said, don't give me your keys. What did I tell her? Vamos a cambiar a her para la pronunciación. So I said to her, don't give me your keys. What did I tell her? You told her, fijaos me como la H. You told her, yo digo told her. T-O-L-D-E-R, es told her, como yo lo pronunciaría. You told her not to give you her keys. Has puesto her correcto también, no his. Cambiamos del posesivo. So let's repeat that one. It was a tough one. So I said to her, don't give me your keys. What did I tell her? Alberto, you told her not to give you her keys. And careful, don't say kiss. Kiss es beso, right? And keys, what are keys? Keys are llaves. Oh, speaking of beso, there we go. Kisses. Give me a kiss. Give me your keys. All right, enough. Guys, that's PDA. Oh, do you know that one? PDA. Alberto, what does PDA stand for? Oh, good question. Public displays of affection. Okay, let's wrap up here. Vamos a ir acabando aquí. I think you guys got the hang of it. ¿La habéis pillado el trunquillo, el tranquillo? I always mix that one up. I'll get it eventually. Tarde o temprano lo pillaré. Okay, vamos con them. I said to them, don't listen to him. Les dije a ellos que no le escucharan a él. Okay, we're practicing our different pronouns as well. So I told them, no, I'm not going to use told. I said to them, ves como es más natural. I said to them, don't listen to him. What did I tell them? You told them, o también se puede comer la TH, you told them, que suena igual que him, pero se sabe del contexto. You told them not to listen to him. You told them not to listen to him. Did you say it right? Great job. Okay. I told you. Te dije a ti. I said to you, perdona, I said to you, don't say that. What did I tell you? Alberto, you told me not to say that. All right. You guys are getting it. Another one. Le dije a ella que no me llamara tan tarde. So I said to her, don't call me so late. What did I tell her, guys? You told her not to call you so late. Okay, and 3 more. If you guys are getting this, awesome. I see a lot of people here, by the way, in the chat room. Nailing it. It's not easy, but this is how we do it. But remember, if you're not doing it aloud, are you really doing it? Nope. We're not here to practice writing. Yeah, it's important. This way you visualize it, you can see it. But the most important thing here is to say it aloud. Here we go. Last 3. Let's go for a perfect here. So I said to them, don't work so hard. Le dije a ellos que no trabajasen tanto, tan duro. So I said to them, guys, don't work so hard. What did I tell them? You told them not to work so hard. También otra vez, you can say told them or told them. Yo diría you told them, apóstrofe em, you told them not to work so hard. Alberto? Okay. I said to her, don't leave. That's an easy one. Pero quiero que lo pronuncies bien, eh? I said to her, don't leave. What did I tell her? Tell her. Fíjate, tell her. Como cajero automático, tell her. Así suena. What did I tell her? I told her, dilo como yo. Al menos si quieres pronunciar en inglés americano. I told her not to leave. And this verb, remember, is an irregular verb. Leave, left, left. And the last one is this one reminds me of my daughter. So vamos a personalizarlo, como siempre os digo, because you can come up with your own options, obviously. So I said to her, don't drop that. We can use my Apple Watch as the example. Okay? Y luego se puede discutir si es drop or throw. Porque si hay intención es throw. No sé. Me dijo que no, pero. So I said to Lara, I said, don't drop my watch. Don't drop that. What did I tell her? I told her not to drop it. I told her not to drop it. So remember, guys, this was an exercise that we started looking at the negative of the imperative. but we ended up looking at the negative of the infinitive. So you can take any exercise and make it easier or harder. Well, easier, I don't know, but you can always make it harder. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be back in 2 minutes with tons more Show with No Name. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's Show with No Name. Can't believe it. Time is just flying by. The first part flew by. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you were practicing with us aloud. Don't forget, after today's show, you've got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. And that's followed by the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. Followed by Back to Basics with Tosh Pasqua. This is how I keep my memory sharp, guys. I remember the Vaughn Radio schedule. Remember, download the free app and you'll never, ever miss a beat. No te vas a perder ni una. And if you're following us on social media, well, then you'll get tons of free content in your timeline. And a quick reminder, too, we also have the Vaughn World portal. If you haven't checked it out, Google Vaughn World portal or just go to our website, grupovaughn.com, and you guys can find out all about this community. Now, we've already built a community here, but this is just another place where you guys can share ideas, lessons. Now, one of the most amazing compliments I ever get, and I get a lot of compliments. Thank you, by the way, for that. Thank you. Todos los cumplidos, alazcos. I always mix that word up too. So you guys can see my weak points, but that's good. We help each other. But now I forgot what I was saying. I lost, bueno, lo uso para enseñarte una expresión. I lost my train of thought. It happens a lot. Do you know why? Because there are a lot of things bouncing around in my head up there. Boing, 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 boing. So if I don't trap it in the moment, it just fades away. It dissipates. Does that sound? See, we use a lot of Latin words, but usually what I've noticed is if we have a choice between a Latin word and a phrasal verb, you know which one we're going to use. 9 times out of 10, we're going to go with the phrasal verb. Yeah, just to confuse you guys. But as I always tell you, phrasal verbs don't exist. My mom doesn't even know what they are. She uses them every day. If you ask any of my friends who are not teachers what a phrasal verb is, they'll say, I have no idea. Why? Because verbs are verbs, and that's all they are. We don't distinguish if it has a preposition. Think about my daughter right now. You know, she's learning so much, but she doesn't see a difference between me saying, pick it up and cook it. Right? Cook no tiene preposición. Y pick it up, sí, pero para ella, si quiero cocinarlo, I say cook it. Si quiero comerlo, I say eat it. Si quiero recogerlo, I say pick it up. Pero no sabe que up es una preposición. So I insist. Guys, phrasal verbs don't exist. But you know what does exist? A section where we listen to famous people speaking, and you guys have to be little detectives and figure out what's being said. It's called Say What? Say what? What? That's right, amigos. The Say What soundbite. This is one of the more challenging sections on the show. I think today's will be pretty easy, though. Relatively easy. Pretty. Nos encanta este pretty. Si no estás usando el pretty, realmente you're not sounding pretty native. Pretty. Bastante. Guapa. Remember this sentence, and it's a double trouble. She's pretty, pretty. Y fijaos, los americanos no decimos pretty, we say pretty. We say the T's like a D. I feel pretty. Te lo canto a la americana y a la inglesa. Americana. I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty. And now in British English, I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty and giddy. And see, totally different word there. An example I always think of is the word ladder. Okay, the word ladder is escalera. L-A-D-D-E-R. It's a ladder. You use it, you know, if you got to get something out of the closet or whatever, you use a ladder. But also the ladder, que no es later, es later con una T de más. Es la segunda opción. Which one do you want? The ladder. Now, in American English, that's a homophone with ladder. Which ladder do you want? The first one or the ladder? I'll take the ladder. In English británico, no, porque la T para ellos es latter. I'll take the latter one. And we say ladder. Aunque ladder lo decimos igual porque eso es una D. So that's an example. We've looked at words like that before in our homophone section. But right now, it's not time for homophones. It's time to listen to our Say What soundbite for the first time. Folks, write down what you hear.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. Again, please don't call me arrogant because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you might know who it is just by that last sentence over there, but definitely a character. A character is un personaje. Another way we say it too is a piece of work. A ver cómo lo traducen. Un trozo de trabajo. Let's see, a piece of work. Todo un personaje. Una buena pieza. Okay? So this person is a piece of work, o también como decimos, you're a real piece of work. It is una buena pieza. Un personaje. If we say the word a nasty piece of work, we're talking about mal bicho. Okay, so if you say somebody's, oh man, you're a piece of work, no tiene que ser ofensivo. It doesn't have to be. But if you call somebody a nasty piece of work, you're definitely saying, eres lo peor, eres un mal bicho. Okay, so this person, some people would say is a nasty piece of work, and some people would say this person is just a real piece of work. Either way, the person's a piece of work. A character, another interesting, simple way to say it as well. All right, well, let me give it to you for the second time, and then we'll see what you guys heard in our Say What soundbite. Are you ready? This is the Say What soundbite for the second time. Please write down what you hear.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. Again, please don't call me arrogant because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
All right, I could give you a couple clues there. There's one word that's mispronounced. Let's put it this way. I would never pronounce it that way. And there's another part here where the person is kind of making up an idiomatic expression. Se está inventando una expresión que no, yo al menos no lo he oído en inglés. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you the right one. Now, remember this, when I talk about somebody's English being subpar, no estar a la par, to be subpar or below par, I'm not laughing at them at all. I never laugh at somebody who speaks with an accent. Why? They're speaking a language that isn't their own. That's brave. I laugh at people who don't speak any other languages or make no effort to try and understand other languages, especially now that we're all connected by the internet, travel. You can fly to Europe, you can cross the Atlantic in 6 or 7 hours. Pretty fast. I always think about, New York's so far away. Not really. It takes longer to get to Almeria by train. Thanks, Renfe. Thanks for nothing. So, my amigos, that is our Say What soundbite. I think also it's worth saying, and we just said if the person made a couple pronunciation mistakes, a couple made up expressions, that the person is a non-native speaker, which is great. This is important too, that we hear this, because remember that's another thing that makes English such an interesting and ever-growing, ever-changing language, is the fact that it's spoken by non-native speakers all over the world. So everybody puts their 2 cents into it. Their 2 cents. I'm jotting that one down. Esta lo estoy apuntando para mis videos. To put in your 2 cents es poner tu grano de arena. And by the way, if you're not following me, I don't know what you're waiting for. You get, it's about a 30-second video I post every day. So you get all these little tidbits, if you will, píldoras, you say in Spanish, of English content. And based on the feedback, you guys are really enjoying them. There's, I do different categories. I do homophones. I also do common mistakes. I do idiomatic expressions, false friends, and hey, anything. In fact, a lot of the videos that I've made so far have come straight from my followers. I hate that word. My students sounds a lot better. My show with no namers, my FYIers. Oh, and by the way, FYI, let's see what we've got coming out tomorrow. Let me check my guys. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast, and that was just an hour ago. Let's see. So coming out, we have got bees. That's right. We're going to be taking a look at bees. And as you guys know, bees are the bee's knees. Ahora tenemos ahí un double trouble. Bees are the bee's knees. Son la bomba. We're going to take a look at bees on this week's episode of FYI. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your Vaughn podcasts for your English. And speaking of bees, I think it's time for today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right. Don't get stung by the spelling bee. We get bit by mosquitoes. We get stung by bees. Isn't that weird? Oh, and in the episode, of course, you'll hear that famous expression by Muhammad Ali: float like a butterfly, sting like a spelling bee. Okay, he didn't say spelling bee. Hey, but I can change it. Everybody makes their own adjustments to history and tells the story in their own way. In fact, one of my favorite idiomatic expressions in English is there are always 3 versions. Okay. Yours, mine, and the truth. Siempre hay 3 versiones. Tu versión, mi versión, y luego la verdad. ¿Qué ocurrió? All right, well, let's take a look at today's Spelling Bee. As always, in the first round of the Spelling Bee, this is where I blow your mind. Yeah, I go really fast. And, well, thanks to some of our students like Born to Iron Man, Lupe, Chris Valrol, some of you guys who never, even if you don't get it on the first go, remember, some of you get it on the first go, Born to Iron Man, but it's not necessary. If you get it on the second go, I love you just the way you are. All right, before I sing anymore and it starts raining, let's take a look at today's Spelling Bee. This is round 1. And I am going to be that guy. That guy you're like, "Qué cabrón, what an asshole," on the phone, that customer service guy. I'm him now. In the second round, I'm going to be a nasty piece of work in the first round. And in the second round, I'm going to be Mr. Nice Guy. Like, are you sure you don't want me to repeat that for you? The good thing is you'll get that a lot in the United States. Even if it's phony, falso, you'll get it a lot. You'll get good customer service. At least 18 years ago. Maybe that's changed. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The first word, this is for all you superstars here. The first word is ROCKY space MOUNTAINS. The second one is SIERRA space NEVADA. The next one, APPALACHIAN. Woo. The next one is ADIRONDACKS. The next one is CASCADES. And the last one is OZARKS. All right, there we go, my amigos. 6 words. All 6 of these words have something in common. I'd like to know what the 6 words are, and I'd like to know what they have in common. And let me see if I've got a little sound effect to give you guys, to get you guys in the right mood. Well, I've got some bees. There we go. Some bees swarming. Yeah, that'll get you in the mood. It has something to do with today's spelling bee, bees. And it has something to do with tomorrow's episode of FYI. All right, let's see if I know I've got some other sound effects. Maybe I'm trying to give you guys some clues here. That's all. Let's see. Okay, maybe this will work. Oh, there's some nature going on there. Sounds like we are out there in a storm. It's raining, maybe even pouring. It sounds like it's pouring. O como decimos coloquialmente, it's pissing down. It's pissing down. It's pouring. Que viene del verbo verter. Here's an easy way to remember it. Oh, man, it's pouring. Can you pour me some more wine? Me echas más vino. Está lloviendo a cántaros. And a cántaro is a rock. A ver, voy a mirar esto. Cántaro. Cántaro is a jug or a pitcher. See why it's important to look things up? Because a lot of times you just say something over and over and over, and you don't know what you're saying. And now it makes sense. Está lloviendo a cántaros. Jugs of rain are falling. Pitchers of rain are falling. I love it. Y mira, tiene que ver con vino también. Una medida de vino. A measure or a ration or a glass. Un cántaro. So you could say the same thing. Está lloviendo a cántaros. Échame un cántaro. We got a double trouble in Spanish over there. Y alma de cántaro? I love that one. Let's see, a ver si traducen. Alma de... Es que no sé si lo entiendo. Ay, sí, está aquí en español. Alma de cántaro. Dummy. Right? Numbskull. Bozo. Como el payaso Bozo the Clown. Pinhead. Alma de cántaro. We're learning some good ones today. Alma de cántaro. Una pieza. Un bicho malo. All right, let's see if anybody figured it out. I tried to give you some clues there with the nature. Let's go on over to our chat room. And ladies and gentlemen, we have got a winner. It's Jose Maria. Looks right. Hold on. Let's make sure here. Let's see. The first one is correct. The second one is correct. Third one, I had trouble spelling the third one. A mí me costó la tercera. Me costó la vida. Well, they're absolutely right. Great job. And folks, this is for all the rest of us because I'm going to do it at a nice pace now. A pace where I think every single student, even basic beginner levels, should be able to get. This is the Spelling Bee. This is round 2. The first one is, are you ready? Jot this down. ROCKY space MOUNTAINS. AINS. The next one is SIERRA space NEVADA. The next one is APPALACHIAN. Esa me costó a mí, tenía que mirarlo 4 veces y espero que esté correcta. I hope it's right. The next one is ADIRONDACKS. And the second to last one, la penúltima, is CASCADES. And the last one is OZARKS. And that is as slow as I can go without giving it away 100%. All right? Because if I go any slower, then it's just like we got to go back to, hey, for my daughter, I do have to go that slow when we spell, but not for you guys. You guys are damn good. I see a lot more people are figuring it out now. So wonderful job to all of you. Great job. Great job. And folks, these are all mountain ranges in the United States. These are mountain ranges in the United States. Let's get some of those sound effects in there. I love them. And why did I choose these today? Well, you know me. First of all, I love nature. And more specifically, okay, I love beaches, but I prefer mountains. Now, no lo he dicho con el glottal stop americano. We say mountains, mountains, right? The British say mountains, mountains. We say mountains, mountains. Mi hija dice mounds. Ella dice, yo sé que quitas un sonido, lo voy a quitar. So mi hija dice mounds en vez de mountains. Solo le falta el ahí. Pero poco a poco, she'll get it. Lo importante no dice mountain. Oh, God. If I had a nickel, si tuviera 5 céntimos, if I had a nickel for every time I heard mountain, I would be rich. I would literally be rolling in it. Another way to say to be rich is to be rolling in it. Estás rodando en el dinero. It reminds me of DuckTales. So yes, these are mountains in the United States. I didn't only choose them because I love mountains or mountain ranges. The range is Cordillera, I think you say. The range is the whole set. So there are different peaks, and the mountain range is, for example, the Rocky Mountains. That would be a range. And it's because today in 1915, the Rocky Mountain National Park is established by an act of the U.S. Congress. And this is one of our most famous national parks. And I can't believe it only came into existence in 1915. It's obviously located in Colorado. And I have never been here. I am dying to go to the Rocky Mountains. They are, let me tell you a little bit about them. The national park is located, ubicado, approximately 89 kilometers northwest of Denver. So Denver is, as you guys know, the center. It's a major hub, un núcleo grande, and it's right there at the foot of the Rocky Mountains, where it starts. The city starts at the foot. We say a pie. De hecho, las colinas pequeñas. A ver cómo lo decís. The foothills. Foothills. Let's see. The foothills. La falda. La ladera. Estribación. It's a funny way to say la precordillera. So the mountain range are those big peaks that you see, the ones that are on the map, right? And the foothills are cuando estás llegando al monte, usually, okay, it's flat, está plano. But as you start getting near the mountains, you start to see it gets a little more rocky. The terrain gets a little more rocky. Those are called foothills, right? And the foothills are beautiful, at least for me. When I see the foothills, I think of, going in. I'm like, okay, this is the point of no return, right? We're going into the mountains. We're going up these winding roads. You might know that word, serpentiente, you say, or serpentante, winding. A ver, I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to look it up. winding roads. It's a Beatles song, by the way. The long winding road. Sinuoso serpenteante. Por eso no me sale. Serpenteante. Winding. And I don't know. I mean, okay, there are two different perspectives on driving in the mountains. Okay. Perspective number one, it's real driving. It's when you really feel like you're driving because you're hugging the curve, right? Coger las curvas, beautiful scenery, winding roads, comparing it to driving on a highway, which is usually just straight, flat. There's not much excitement. But of course, those winding roads can become very, very treacherous. Treacherous es otra forma de decir peligroso. They can become very, very treacherous during a storm, a snowstorm, or even, if it rains and then the temperature drops, you've got a sheet of ice. And so, do you like driving in the mountains? Oh, yeah, sure. When there's no snow in the forecast, cuando no hay previsión de nieve. But we're going to take a look at these mountains. Plus, we've got homophones. We've got Name That Movie. We've got Double Trouble. So much to do. And we've got another half of the show, the third and the fourth part, still up ahead. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Welcome back. Este back lo tenemos que usar siempre. Call me back. Give it back. Devuélvemelo. Pay me back. Devuélveme el dinero. Go back. Vuelve. Get back. Retrocede. It's a Beatles song. Talking about a lot of Beatles songs today. Get back. Get back to where you once belonged. Get back. Get back. Get back to where you once belonged. Trying to sing the Beatles with this beat. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 3. We have officially entered the second half of today's program. And wow, I was just taking a look at the script, and we've got a lot to do. So everybody, hold on to your hats. We're going to climb some mountains in the United States in just a moment. But right now, it's time for another challenge, a challenge we call homophones.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name, and this is where we take a look at words that may or may not sound the same. I'm going to leave it in your hands. You guys tell me, A, if you know the words. So first tell me the words, and then B, if you know if these words sound exactly the same or not. And when I mean exactly the same, I mean night and night. Caballero y noche. You don't know which one I'm saying. Or sea and sea. Ver y mar. They sound exactly the same. You wouldn't know if you didn't have the context. All right, so the first word we're going to give you today is a word we've looked at here. And it's something that's used in the theater or even in radio or on TV. And it's pie, apunte, o entrada. It's a signal to somebody that they have to act, that they have to enter, that they have to say their line, that it's their turn to take action. Okay? Me toca. Es, no? Mi entrada, mi pie, it says here. Señal, pie, apunte, entrada. Okay? And anything else? It's also, oh yeah, it also is taco o palo if you're talking about pool, billar, no digo pool, piscina. So if you play pool, you have a pool stick or a pool. Okay. De hecho, la bola blanca se llama the ball. Okay. Inducir, dar el pie a, dar la pista a. All right. That's the first word. The second word I've got for you is the word fila or cola. The word fila or cola in British English, because in American English we say a line, right? Line. But not the British. They use a different word, which I had to check my spelling 6 times. 6 veces porque dudé. I said, wait a second, is that how that's spelled? So again, this is the British way of saying fila o cola. Y también es hacer cola también. We'll take a look at it a little bit after. But those are your homophones. You can tell me if they sound exactly the same or not. Also, I'm going to give you guys today's Say What soundbite. This is the third listen. We'll see if somebody's able to figure it out.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. Again, please don't call me arrogant because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
All right, there you go, folks. This person said, I sink, me hundo. Or did the person want to say, I think? There's a very funny commercial. I think it's a language school. You can find it. Go to Google and put, we're sinking. We're sinking. And I can explain it to you. It's really funny, and it shows how, a miscommunication can be deadly. And we know that from the Los Rodeos airport incident, the Tenerife air disaster. And so there's a ship, and there's a new Coast Guard guy, a German guy, and he sits down and he gets a signal on the radio, and they say, we are sinking. Repeat, we are sinking. German Coast Guard, we are sinking. Estamos hundiéndonos. We are sinking. And the guy, first day on the job, obviously not proficient in English. It's a brilliant ad. He very, very weakly, muy débil, says, what are you thinking about? ¿De qué estás pensando? ¿En qué estás pensando? What are you thinking about? So I guess it's a very common pronunciation problem, not for Spanish people. And I always tell you guys that. You guys have your pronunciation issues because they directly have to do with differences in sounds in Spanish. The number one is Spain, school, right? Why? Porque escuela, España. You naturally want to put that E in there. Guess what? German people don't make that mistake. They have this sinking all the time. They don't know how to do the I'm generalizing. There are German people who speak perfect English, and there are Spanish people who speak perfect English. I know my students, you guys are well on your way. You're well on your way. Estáis encarrilados. All right, let's take a look at today's homophones I gave you guys. I gave you 2 words. The first word is pie, apunte. We'll use it in context because remember, I think that's the most important part, not just knowing the word. And the second word is cola in Inglés británico. All right, the first word is C-U-E. And by the way, I see we have a lot of people participating here in the chat room. So good job. Let me see. Most people are saying that these words do sound the same, but I see a few people who are saying that the words don't sound the same as well. So it's not unanimous here. Now, I have to be honest with you. I thought, here I'm going to give it away. Os voy a dar la respuesta. I thought the word cola o fila en inglés británico se escribía igual que, was written exactly the same as pie, apunte, o entrada. So are they homophones? Could have fooled me. When I was a kid, I thought they were spelled the same. If I heard somebody say, where's the Q? I thought they were saying Q, pie, o pista. So yes, they are homophones, my amigos. And let's use them in context, because I think that's the most important part, as I said. So muchas veces lo decimos como frase también. So let's say my daughter's taking a bath. And, I'm sitting in the living room and my daughter goes, Papi. I say to my wife, that's my cue. Me toca. Es mi entrar. Tengo que entrar. I don't know how you would say that in Spanish, pero that's my cue. Eso es mi pista para entrar. Mi pie. Let's take a look. John was behind the curtain. This is literal, but we can say it also, in this way. Y lo usamos como verbo. Cue the organ. Cue the saxophone. Cue lo que sea es, y entra tal, entra al otro, dar entrada a tal. It's to cue, C-U-E. So John was behind the curtain. No es curtain, es como mountain, curtain. Igual, curtain or curtain. Yo no digo curtain, me cuesta, digo curtain. Pero tú puedes decir curtain. There's a curtain of smoke on the mountain. Whoo. Hey, this is why I always tell you to pronounce things aloud, especially if it's something that's tough, because you can see if you're saying curtain, the same as me, or curtain or mountain, try and imitate it to a T. So cue. Here's another one. The band stood in formation. La banda estuvo ahí, pie en su lugar, waiting patiently for the cue to march, desfilar. There you go, the cue. Estaban esperando una señal. When the hostess yawns, cuando the hostess yawns. Bueno, en este caso no es, yo estabas pensando, a host and a hostess in a restaurant es la persona que dice, ¿cuántos sois? That's a host or a hostess. But also, it's the person who's inviting you to their home. So en este caso, when the hostess yawns, cuando la que está, la anfitriona, bosteza, that is the cue for her guests to leave. ¿Ves? Esto es en el sentido no teatral. Okay, when I wink, that's the cue that it's time to get moving, okay? Also, we said a cue. If you are a serious pool player, maybe you have your own cue. And the cue ball, vamos a ver, cue ball aquí. The cue ball is la bola blanca. It doesn't, sois muy literales ahí. The cue ball. Also, cue is preparar. Cue the lights. The play is about to begin. Prepara, dar pie a So I think you're getting the idea behind this word cue. C-U-E. All right, the next one, I have to look at it because I don't know how to spell it. I'm dead serious here, so don't feel bad. The British one is Q-E-U-E. That's how I have to hear it in my head. Para poder escribirlo bien. Que-U-E. So Q-E-U-E. So it's Q-U-E-U-E. Now, you would never look at that word in a million years and say that word sounds like C-U-E, but it does. Exactly the same. Q. So much that I didn't know as a kid that it was a different word. So I always remember this sentence. Where's the cue for the loo? Where's the cue for the loo? ¿Dónde está la cola para el váter? And the same way we say, where's the line for the bathroom or the restroom? They say, where's the queue? We say, we're going to line up. Vamos a hacer cola. We're going to line up by the bus, cerca del autobús. We're going to queue up by the bus. So as far as I know, you can replace the word line in American English with the word queue as a verb, as a noun. And nobody likes to queue up. Although I've heard British people for some reason, I was reading it on Twitter. I'm sure it's just a stereotype, but some people were saying that British people love to queue up. Les encanta hacer cola. Is that true, or is that just some kind of stereotype? I don't know. I had never heard it before. That's why I'm saying. All right, so that's our homophones. Let's take a look at really quickly our mountains too from today's spelling bee. Now there are 3 major mountain ranges in the United States. Okay, major. Doesn't mean there are only 3 mountain ranges. 3 major ones. Let's see if you know them. What are the 3 major, grandes o mayores, mountain ranges in the United States? I'll give you a clue. 2 of them go into Canada. Oh, yeah. They're so long that the little tip of both of them, the northern tip, la punta más norteña, goes into Canada. All right. The first one, Sierra Nevada. That one is completely in the United States. It's right on the border, mostly in California, but it's right on the border of California and Nevada. Next up, we're going from west to east here. I think it's the easiest way. So Sierra Nevada mountains, those are very famous, and you know them here in Spain. And they're very similar in the fact that you can go swimming and snowboarding the same day. Very, very special climate, right? So you've got the Sierra Nevada mountains. These are the 3 major ones. The next one, the Rocky Mountains, and these start in New Mexico. They go through, what is that? Utah, Wyoming, Montana. I mean, the Rocky Mountains are huge. We already said as well, Colorado. They're in Colorado as well. And then the Appalachian Mountains, which bring us all the way over to the East Coast. So we've got 2 major ones out west. And then you've got the Appalachian Mountains, which go from Canada. They go through Vermont and all the way down to Alabama and Georgia. And the Appalachian Trail, this is like your Camino de Santiago, similar kind of trail. It's a pilgrimage for many hikers. And I always see hikers around my dad's area, and the Appalachian Mountains, which are just gorgeous. They are huge. And some of the smaller ranges in the Appalachian Mountains are the Great Smoky Mountains. Those are famous in country music. So again, there are ranges that are inside these larger ranges. So you're probably saying, well, what about the Great Smoky Mountains? A lo mejor no lo sabes. The Great Smoky Mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, those are all parts of the Appalachian Mountains, okay? The Rockies are amazing because of the wildlife. I mean, they're not just the wildlife, the pure size of them. And they stretch 3,000 miles. So creo que son 6,000 kilómetros más o menos. Incredible. And you can find everything, all kinds of wildlife. You can find bighorn sheep. You can find badgers. ¿Cómo se dice? Badger. Tejón, maybe is the word. Badger también es molestar como verbo. So there's a good double trouble. The badger wouldn't stop badgering me. El tejón no dejó de fastidiarme. To badger. A good one. So, yeah, badger. What else do they have? Grizzly bears. You know that one. Black bears, coyotes, elk. ¿Cómo se dice? Elk. Alce, puede ser? Hey, I'm learning some. No. Whoa. Uapiti. Hey, uapiti. Ciervo canadiense. I think it's easier than Wapiti. So, yes. And we looked at the 3 largest ones. Anything else I wanted to say? Oh, Sierra Nevada, we said. In Sierra Nevada, you've got, as I said, the Yosemite National Park. You've got Lake Tahoe. So, again, we're talking about a whole mountain range with many parks in each one, many very famous lakes, many very famous other smaller mountain ranges inside of those. So really fascinating. And then we have some other ranges, and I included some of these in our spelling bee. The Adirondacks, which are in northeast New York. The Adirondacks, those are very, very famous in our area. You've got the Cascade Range, which is quite interesting. It has Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is in Seattle, and it's considered part of the Ring of Fire. What a cool name. It's like a Johnny Cash song. Well, the Ring of Fire is a number of volcanic mountains in that area. Also, Mount St. Helens is part of the Cascades, which is an active, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that, an active volcano. We didn't even mention the Alaska Range and, of course, the Ozarks, which I didn't even know about the Ozarks, but they're between the Appalachians and the Rockies. They're mostly in southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. And if you know, there's a very famous series called Ozark, which I think is awesome. The scenery looks absolutely beautiful. Yeah, if you guys like nature, remember the United States, we have got some serious nature. The only thing is you need some time because the country's huge and there really are an abundance of a wealth, we could say, también a wealth of national parks. Check out the series Ozark, and you can check out this area. And speaking of series, I think it's time for Name That Movie.
Spelling bee.
Name That Movie. Ahora sí. So you guys don't want another spelling bee, do you? Oh, no. God help us. That's right. That's right, amigos. It's our spelling. No, I'm joking. You're like, no. All right, here's today's spelling bee. I'm going to give it to you. I'll give you the trailer, and then we'll take a look at a scene from it. Okay. It starts out like this. An up-and-coming pool player plays a longtime champion in a single high-stakes match. Whoa. That's what I want you guys to do in the Say What soundbite. Say a lot in just one sentence. And that's something that's good about these synopses from movies. So an up-and-coming. This is joven promesa, I think would be a good way to say this. Up-and-coming. A ver cómo lo traducen. An up-and-coming, prometedor, emergente. Up and coming. It's written with hyphens. It's hyphenated. An up-and-coming pool player. We looked at the word pool. Pool is piscina, but also pool is billar. A pool player plays a long-time champion, uno que lleva de campeón por mucho tiempo, in a single high-stakes match. And single is de una, no? Todo en uno. It's all or nothing. It's do or die, como decimos. And high stakes, a ver cómo traducen high stakes. We've looked at this before on the show. Alto riesgo. Se pierde mucho. The stakes are high. La expresión que usamos is to raise the stakes in a high stakes match. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Please give it up for Carmen. Nice job. The movie is The Hustler. The Hustler, it came out in the year 1961. You call it El Timador? El Buscavidas? Well, in English, it can mean both of those things. So in this case, it's somebody who's a pool hustler, uno que está engañando con el billar. But you can also have a hustler, somebody who's out there on the street buscándose la vida. Well, same idea, buscavidas, timador, you'll do anything. The hustle. A ver cómo traducen a hustle. You know it. There's also a pornographic magazine. Ajetreo, no, timo. Okay, there it is. Yeah, ajetreo, hustle and bustle. I always think of Christmas time in New York City. But hustle, timo. What is this, a hustle? ¿Esto es un timo? Are you a hustler? I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know it ain't where I've been, but where I'm about to go. I love that song, Jay-Z. I'm a hustler, baby. Soy un buscavidas. This movie stars Paul Newman and Jackie Gleason as pool players, and they established a beautiful friendship during the filming of this movie on the set. The set is El Plateau. And what happened was, at one point, Paul Newman got a little bit cocky about his newfound pool skills because Jackie Gleason already knew how to play pool pretty well. I mean, he wasn't as good as the character. They had somebody to do the stunt shots. They had somebody's hands doing the really difficult ones. But in general, they did their own shots. And so Jackie Gleason, when the movie started, he was a better pool player. But then Paul Newman, he put a pool table in his living room, and he played like crazy. And so he got a little bit cocky and he challenged the more experienced Gleason to a $50 bet, una apuesta. And so what happened was he knocked all 15 balls in, and Paul Newman never got to take another shot. So basically, Jackie Gleason wiped the floor with him. Limpió el suelo con él. He wiped the floor with him. Le dio una paliza. And the next day, Paul Newman paid him off, are you ready, with 5,000 pennies, céntimos. Oh, man. Hey, that sounds like fun, though. At least they had a little camaraderie, no? Como buen rollo, some camaraderie. All right, let's take a look at the scene from The Hustler from 1961. Bert Gordon says, Eddie, is it all right if I get personal? ¿Te importa si te hago una pregunta personal o cuento algo personal? If I get personal? And Fast Eddie says, what have you been so far? ¿Y qué llevas haciendo hasta ahora? ¿Qué has sido? What are you? What have you? Or what are you is what are you? Oye, si sabes what are you, ya sabes inglés. What are you doing? What have you been doing? ¿Ves? El what are you is what have you, what are you, what are you, what are you? Lo pone aquí, what are you? W-H-A-D-D-A-Y-A, what are you? What have you been so far? Y te ríes, pero ahí así suena. What have you been so far? Y hasta ahora, ¿qué has sido? And Eddie, Bert says, Eddie, you're a born loser. A born loser. Y nato, naciste perdedor. A little bit different than a sore loser, un mal perdedor. Que literalmente sore es dolorido. And he goes, what's that supposed to mean? ¿Y qué quieres decir con eso? Se usa esta estructura mucho. What's that supposed to mean? And he goes, first time in 10 years I ever saw Minnesota Fats hooked. La primera vez en 10 años que veo a Minnesota Fats enganchado, hooked. Remember, we say to be hooked on or to be addicted to. Se cambia la preposición. And he goes, really hooked. But you let him off. You let him off. To let somebody off is, salvarles, no le diste mucha caña. Let's look it up. To let somebody off is dejarles, no castigarles, perdonarles. That would be a good trend. You let him off, le perdonaste. And Fast Eddie says, I told you I got drunk. Te dije que me emborraché. And Bert says, sure, you got drunk. You have the best excuse in the world for losing. No trouble losing when you got a good excuse. Winning, that can be heavy on your back. Puede pesar mucho lo de ganar. Like a monkey. And to have a monkey on your back, this is an idiomatic expression. If you have a monkey on your back, you have an addiction that you're battling. Okay? And he goes, you'll drop that load too when you got an excuse. Dejarás esa carga, to drop that load when you got an excuse. All you got to do is learn to feel sorry for yourself. Oh, poor me. Sentir autopena, to feel sorry for yourself. One of the best indoor sports, uno de los mejores deportes interiores. Feeling sorry for yourself. Dándote pena a ti mismo. A sport enjoyed by all, especially born losers. Folks, we have to go to a quick commercial break. And we're going to come back and we're going to wrap up the show. We've got so much to do in the fourth and final part. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. I can't believe it's the fourth and final part of today's show. Wow. Flying by, and tomorrow's Friday. Oh, yeah. And we are reaching the end of January. Oh, my God. Wow. Can't believe it. Where did January go? I mean, I'm still writing 2022 on my documents. Yo sigo apuntando 2022. Yeah, it takes me about a month or two to get with the program. Ponerme las pilas. I even on today's script, I put 2022. And then finally, when I get used to it, we got to change the year again. Oh, man. All right. Well, folks, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. We've got so much to do and so little time. So let's get right back into it with today's Double Trouble. Double Trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. That's right, folks. It's Double Trouble only on the Show with No Name. Remember, this isn't the only show where we challenge you. You get challenged on all of our shows. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, all of the Vaughn radio presenters use social media. So if you're not following us, if you're not participating on the shows, you're missing out. You're missing an extra element. If you can't, of course, we understand. I totally understand. But that's why we have podcasts. You can tune in on iVox, Spotify, also Apple Podcasts, where you can check out all of our shows from Back to Basics to Drive Time to Western Civilizations. Well, you'll learn so much more than English. With Guy Williams, you'll learn fascinating things about history, economics, music. I mean, he's an expert on so many different things, and he's a staple here. ¿Qué? ¿Una grapa? Yeah, a staple también es algo esencial. So, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Right now, it's time for, we just said Double Trouble. As always, this is a section where you have to use the same word twice. And I know what you're thinking here with Double Trouble. You're thinking, is it really going to give me a lot of trouble? Well, it depends on the day, huh? It depends on the person. There are some times when, man, nobody has gotten it. Okay, nobody. But in the end, people start getting it, right? Especially when you try. Because even when you try, as we've noticed in many, many occasions over here, people who have tried have maybe found a different way to say it. Okay, so my amigos, are you ready? Okay. The first part is, remember, think of it this way. There are always two parts, okay? So, necesito desahogarme, okay? Necesito desahogarme. That is part one. That's kind of an idiomatic expression. The second part, porque ella me dio plantón, okay? So, necesito desahogarme porque ella me dio calabazas, me dio plantón. Let's see how they say it here. Okay. Aquí pone tirarse un pedo. Se escaqueó, ¿no? Del plan. Canceló. Okay, that would be another way to say it. Desquedó. You know, me dio largas would be maybe another way to say it. All right, so part one. Lo tengo aquí. Tengo que desahogarme porque me dio plantón. Me dejó tirado. That would be a good way to say it as well. So hopefully you guys will be able to figure out today's Double Trouble. In the meantime, I'm going to give you today's Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. Again, please don't call me arrogant because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
All right, there you go, folks. And it looks like we've got a winner. Please give it up for your classmate, Edgar. Nice job, Edgar. And he said it was easy to know who it was because, of course, after this person said this, they got a new nickname. And many of you have already commented that you know who it is, but we'll take a look at all that stuff in just a moment. Let's take a look at today's double trouble. So the first part was, tengo que desahogarme, porque ella me dio plantón. All right. So the first part, I have to blow off some steam. To blow off some steam. If you think about it, think about a pot of boiling water. So if you have a pressure cooker, una olla a presión, I think you say a pressure cooker. Sometimes it gets too, I mean, it's just the pressure goes so high that you have to. So you can say to let off or to blow off some steam. Dejar que salga un poco de vapor. Quitar presión. It says here, desahogarse, descargarse, liberar estrés. It also is descargar energía. A lot of times people use the expression, I go to the gym to blow off some steam, to let off some steam, quitar un poco de ese estrés. Piénsalo. I think the best way to imagine is a pressure cooker, olla a presión. If it's just the pressure's too high and it's going crazy, you gotta get that little knob and turn it, and you let out some steam. En este caso es out porque está dentro, right? But the expression is to let off or to blow off some steam. Okay, steam siendo vapor. So think of, what do you do? That's the best way to use this expression. Think about what you do when you want to blow off some steam. Maybe this is what you do here during your English class. You know, te liberas de estrés, te descargas. Let me give you the example they have here. I was annoyed and wanted to let off some steam. I called my boyfriend. He let me blow off steam for an hour. Okay, so to blow off, to let off, I always say it with some steam. Aquí no incluyen el some, pero yo lo digo con some, me suena más natural. So what do you do to blow off some steam? That's the best way to use it. Try and use it in context. All right, so part one. I need to, or I have to blow off some steam because she blew me off. Okay. Now, I want you to be really careful with this second one here, because in British English, if somebody blows you off, they are giving you fellatio, a blowjob. I know this because I made this mistake. I was working with a teacher, I'll never forget, Paul Berry. Shout out to Paul Berry. And we were supposed to have lunch or something, or I don't remember exactly. And the next day when I saw Paul Berry, Paul Fruta del Bosque, when I saw him, I said, dude, yesterday you blew me off. I said, no quedaste, me faltaste, cancelaste, escaqueaste, desquedaste, mal queda. You're right, to blow somebody off. Me diste largas. I said, yesterday you blew me off, man. What's going on? And he goes, excuse me? And you could see the look of shock on Paul's face when he goes, I blew you. I did not do such a thing. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? You didn't show up. No te presentaste. You didn't turn up, or you didn't show up. Es otra forma de decirlo. You blew me off. And that's where he told me that in British English, to blow somebody off is to give them fellatio. So just be careful. In American English, it's to blow somebody. So if I say she blew me, well, I guess I blew off some steam then. Entonces me desahogué con eso, ¿no? So I'm not trying to be vulgar. I'm just trying to teach you the nuance there. So if somebody blows you, that means that they're giving you fellatio. If somebody blows you off in the United States, it means they didn't show up to the plan. I always think of the word mal queda. You know, somebody who you're, oh yeah, where are you, man? You blew me off. I thought you were going to be here. To blow somebody off. And be careful too when we talk about candles. What's the one we use with candles? We don't blow the candles. Nope. We blow them out, right? And to blow up, I know you guys know this one, to blow us up is explotar, right? To blow up. But also it means to become popular. And it also means to make bigger. Could you blow up the photo a little bit? It's kind of small. ¿Puedes aumentar el tamaño? Did you know that the word blow had so many meanings? I know. Your mind is absolutely blown. Okay, that wasn't that funny, but I have some jokes that I think are going to be pretty funny in today's You're Joking. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch! Ouch! You get it? Ouch! He walked into the bar. You're joking. That's right, amigos. You're joking only on the show with no name. And let's see if you get these jokes that I've prepared for you today. I always prepare a couple, maybe one or two, and then I'm always thinking of a way to come up with a few on my own. And I urge you guys to do the same thing. It's a good way to really know if you master the language. If you can be witty, ingenuo, ingenuo is witty? Ingenioso. If you can be witty, right? It's not just being funny, it's being funny at the right moment. Timing. We all know that timing in comedy is key. Just ask my sister. She can tell the same joke that I tell, and people will just sit there like, when's the punchline coming? ¿Cuándo vas a decir la parte graciosa? So she doesn't get the pause thing. La pausa esta. Okay, so here is the first joke I've got for you. Why can't you play soccer with pigs? ¿Por qué no puedes jugar al fútbol? Que no es fútbol. Why can't you play soccer with pigs? Because they always hog the ball. They always hog the ball. Well, a hog es cerdo o puerco. In America Latina, chancho. I didn't even know that. Also, a hog is un glotón, right? Somebody who's greedy. Give me more. A hog. Y también es acaparar, monopolizar. In fútbol, chupar balón, right? So if you're a ball hog, eres un chupón. If you hog the ball, estás chupando el balón. So if you hog the pizza, ¿se dice chupar en ese o acaparar? Hey, wait, man. I didn't even get any pizza. You're hogging the pizza. My wife hogs the sheets. Okay. She says, I hog the sheets. So you get it now? Why don't you want to play soccer with pigs? Because they always hog the ball. Hog, cerdo. Cerdear es la palabra en inglés. All right, I'll give you another one. What's the best state to shop for a soccer uniform in? Okay, what is the best state, el mejor estado in the United States to shop for a soccer uniform? Well, there's no doubt about it. New Jersey. No, you're not serious. No. Hey, well, that's a false friend. A jersey in English, at least in the United States, is el uniforme de deportes. So a basketball jersey, a soccer jersey. They're very expensive, by the way. A jersey. So you get it now? What's the best state to shop for a soccer uniform? New Jersey. Uniforme. Oh, and un jersey is a sweater in English, a sweater. Okay, last one, I promise. This is the last joke. Okay, what is the Spanish national team's favorite grooming product? Okay, to groom, aciclarse, limpiarse, prepararse, to groom, afeitar, right? All of this. What is the Spanish, la selección española, what is the Spanish national team's favorite grooming product? Oil of Olay. Oil of Olay. Do you say Olay? Ole, Olay, cada día te quiero más. Oil of Olay. It's a famous product that people use on their skin. I remember my grandma always had oil of Olay. Well, it's an oil that comes from lanolin. The main ingredient is lanolin. But also it's how you say ole. So what's the Spanish national team's favorite grooming product? Oil of Olay. Okay, I'll stop, but only because it's time for famous birthday trivia.
show with no name.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And I can't believe we have less than 10 minutes left. Thank you again for all of your effort, all your hard work, all your participation today and every day. All right, but we're not done yet. The first birthday boy was born in 1955, a Dutch American guitarist, Dutch Hollandes, from the Netherlands. It's another way of saying Los Países Bajos, the Netherlands. We don't say lands. En este caso es lands, the Netherlands. And where would you recognize his work? Well, his brother Alex and him had a group. I say had because this guy passed away in 2020. But they had a group that used their last name. I can't tell you the last name, but let's just put it this way. One of the greatest guitarists ever. And he was the one who reminded us, you might as well jump, go ahead and jump. And he reminded us of so many other amazing riffs. If you've never heard Eruption, it is probably one of the greatest guitar solos ever. And it was played by this guy. I think definitely the greatest guitar player from my generation, because I grew up listening to the group. You pronounce it a little bit differently in Spanish, okay? We say Van Halen, and you say Van Halen, I think you say. We say Van Halen. Pues tendríamos que preguntarle a él. Imposible. Well, maybe we can ask his brother or his son. His son recently played in Madrid. He's in a group called, I can't remember the name of the group now, but they played with one of my favorite groups, Alter Bridge. Next up, this person was born in 1925, an American actor, activist, director, race car driver, businessman, a philanthropist as well, an entrepreneur. And he was also, I'd say, one of the most handsome men in Hollywood ever. And, I can say that as another man, just a really good-looking guy. And he's won numerous awards, an Academy Award, a BAFTA, 3 Golden Globes, SAG Awards. SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. And he passed away in 2008. Some of his movies you might know, The Hustler. Hey, wait, that was today's Name That Movie. Also, Cool Hand Luke, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting, The Towering Inferno, Slapshot. Hey, wait, Slapshot. We looked at that on another show. So we've seen a lot of movies that this guy has done in the past. And he loves sports movies. Look at that. The Hustler, Slapshot, which we saw, I think we saw that a couple weeks ago, maybe. And it's a hockey movie, classic hockey movie from 1977. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, this person is the special one. Now, some say it was the British media that gave him this name, but others say it was him that gave himself this name. When he arrived in England to be the coach of Chelsea, the manager or the coach of Chelsea, he told the press, I'm a special one. I'm not your typical manager. I'm a special one. And from that moment on, he became the special one. He coached the Real Madrid Football Club, my favorite football club, and I even gave this guy my seat. I'm on the cover of Marca with this guy. I'm serious. If you haven't seen it, I can share it with you. Remind me, just drop me a line on social media. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got ourselves a winner over here. Please give it up for Isa. Nice job. Nice job, Isa. Number 1, Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen, his brother Alex Van Halen is also a member. Oh, he's still alive. And his son Wolfgang Van Halen. Number 2, Paul Newman. And I want you to focus on that. I didn't say new man. We don't say new man. It's Newman. It's like when we say, we said before, what did we say? Greenland? Oh, no, we said the Netherlands, Greenland. Si os dais cuenta, no es land. Es land cuando está a secas, pero como terminación es lind. Greenland, right? Greenland. So this guy, I remember buying this guy's salad dressing que tenía aliño para el dressing, and the profits went to charity, which is I thought was awesome. And the dressing's really good. My grandma used to buy it as well. And we're talking about Paul Newman. And last but not least, the chosen one? No, the special one. Jose Mourinho, the Portuguese football manager. And this will bring us right into today's Say What soundbite. This is Jose Mourinho at his first press conference when he dubbed himself, se auto llamó, the special one. And he says, I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. Perdona, soy un poco arrogante. He says, we have a top manager. Tenemos conmigo, ¿no? We have a top manager, un entrenador top, right? Again, please don't call me arrogant. So listen to that. I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. Again, please don't call me arrogant. It's great. It's brilliant. Because what I'm saying is true. Porque lo que digo es verdad, right? I'm a top manager, he's saying. I am European champion, right? He says European, I think he pronounces it a little bit weird. He goes, I'm not one of the bottle. I imagine in Portuguese, uno de la botella, but in English, it would be just another one off the pile or in the barrel. I'm not the bottom of the barrel. So I don't know exactly what he was trying to say there, but here's the line. I think I'm a special one. And from that moment on, you will always be the special one, whether you win games or not. The British media has dubbed you, and you have dubbed yourself. Esto viene de Metallica. So I dubbed the unforgiven. Nombrar. All right, well, here he is, Jose Mourinho.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. Again, please don't call me arrogant because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
All right, there you go, folks. There you go, the special one, the day he decided to become the special one. And now it's time for our final section, Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name, and I can't believe it. I just want to thank you guys once again for all the hard work, all your energy, and just for making this time fly by every day. Seriously, I sit down here and I never, sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I've got my mind on other things, but you guys always bring me back to reality. You bring me back to the real world where we're learning English. Yeah, I know this isn't the real world. This is an English class, but I'm trying to prepare you for the real world. I hate that expression, the real world, but it's true. I'm trying to prepare you. So next time you go out there and you're in the United States, maybe visiting one of our beautiful national parks, well, then maybe you'll feel confident. Even if you make a mistake, you'll feel confident. You won't hide behind somebody else. No te esconderás detrás de otra persona. All right. So if we just get you to be more confident, that is a huge step. The rest will come with practice. So keep up the great work. And folks, this is Van Halen, and it's a beautiful song. It's How Do I Know When It's Love? ¿Cómo sé yo cuando es amor? And he says, everybody's looking for something. No hay res. Everybody's looking for something. Quiero que lo escuchéis ahora. Everybody's looking for something. Las res, ¿pa' qué? ¿Pa' qué? Something to fill in the holes. Algo para rellenar los huecos. We think a lot, but don't talk much about it. Pensamos mucho, pero no hablamos sobre ello till things get out of control. This is Van Halen, When It's Love. Temazo, as you say in Spanish. I love this tune. I dedicate it to you guys. Have an awesome rest of the day, and we'll be back tomorrow with more. I promise. Ciao. Wow.